Hi, welcome to my channel Takniki Gyan Guru. Today we will learn how to create a custom chatbot using Azure AI Cognitive Search and we'll use .NET Core Web API as a backend and ReactJS as a frontend. This video is made in response to a request from the below user. So this user has asked me to create a project where he can upload a file and using that file we can chat, right? So this video is specifically created for this request. So without wasting time, let's move to the understand how we can create a chatbot using our own data, right? So there are multiple way. So first way is we can create our own custom AI model. How we can create using any programming language like ml.net in .NET, and inside in the .NET we will use ml.net for AI ML solution. Also, we can use a Python AIML services. So, using this language, we can create our own custom, model. Based on that model, we can create a chatbot, right? So we need a model, right, to process our data, train the model, and based on our trained model, we can ask question to the model, and model will reply back to us, right? This is the custom build AI model, right? And another way is we can use AI ML cloud models. So we have different cloud provider like Azure, AWS, and Google, right? So Amazon provide Amazon Lext to create our QnA related model, right? So we can upload files, different files on website, and like Excel sheet or any kind of document, right? We can upload and paste, and then we can train it, and then we can directly using some API we can ask questions from our own data. Azure Cognitive Search. Earlier we use QnA Maker, so now the QnA Maker is deprecated. So we use Azure Cognitive Service, and third one is the Google Dialogflow. Similarly, this Dialogflow is also have this similar feature to create our own QnA model, right? So today we will talk about this Azure Cognitive Search. So we'll use it because the creating custom model is lot of time. So definitely if someone wants, we will also create our custom model, or we can use the Amazon service or Google Dialogflow or ml.net also, right? So based on the request we can definitely come back with the solution. For now we will use Azure Cognitive Search to create our custom chatbot using our own data, right? So now, so custom QnA chatbot, where this is the similar architecture we have discussed in my previous video, where I have shown you how to create a custom chatbot to get the data from the ChatGPT. Using the ChatGPT, we have created a chatbot. So similarly, the end user can directly query from ReactJS frontend the chatbot UI, where uh, it is designed as a chatbot UI, similar to the chatbot UI. The end user can query from the ReactJS UI. This React.js UI will call the post method inside the .NET Core application. Here we have created a post method to call the Azure Search Service model, right? To get the response from the using the user's query. So .NET Core will call Azure Service Cognitive Service API to answer. But before that, the Azure's cognitive search, right? We have to configure this. So we will configure. So what we require is we need to create a language, and we need to create a project. We need to upload a QnA file. Like we need some Excel file. So for today, we have the Excel file there. We have mentioned some question and answer, right? So we will put this question and answer, and then we'll see how we can test it. So once we upload the QnA file, and then we'll test the bot service API, and then we'll deploy. Once we deploy, then we can directly access this API to our .NET Core API, and then the core API will respond back to the ReactJS with the response, right? And this UI will show the response to the end user. So this way we will create. So I will show you the demo. So this is the time for demo. Let's move to the demo first. So now let's understand the code first. So this is the same application we have created in the past in chatbot application. So you can watch my previous video for understanding how to create um, the React.js application and the .NET Core application. For more understanding, I will also give you the link into the description, right? So similarly, I have created two project, right? So one is the React.js application. So same application, I just cut and paste. I'll show you some difference what we have done. So let's understand the server, right? The core API first, and then the this one, the ChatGPT UI. React.js. So here what I have code is the controller one. Inside the controller I have created Azure QnA chatbot service. Sorry, inside the controller, this chatbot controller. Inside the chatbot controller, similarly this chatbot controller is created in my past project, right? So here I just created one string called OCP key. This key is required to connect my Azure service. This is important. I'll show you how we can give. So this key is given into my config file, right? App setting.json, because I don't want to hard code it. I just mentioned in my config file, right? OCP key. This is nothing. I need to change it, right? So go and see chatbot, right? So from the JSON, I'm just getting my key over here, the OCP key, right? In this string, this property, I'll get my OCP key, right? This is the task action result from this function is called from our React JSON, right? Chatbot. I am just having my user input. This is just a question, so he will type the question. This question will be passed into this function, right? Into my API. Then I have the try clause. If some error comes in, I can at least see what is the error. This is the string, answer string. I'll show you how you have used this one. Answer, this is nothing. We can this one, right? Or we can delete this one, no problem. So string endpoint, this is the URL I am having, so it may not be changed, right? So API endpoint, so I'll show you this. I need to change the API endpoint. This will be changed, and query parameter is this one. So I need to change the parameter, query parameter, also the endpoint. So once we created our service in Azure, we need to change this parameter, right? Using this API, we can call our API. We can make our API call. So we are creating a HTTP call so that we can request from this CUI. This is the another variable we are creating, response content, and the request URI. We are just adding the endpoint plus our query string right here. So it will be a one URL. So this is using this URL we will request the date based on our question. So this is the URL and our body, right? Inside the body we need to pass some data, right? So top three, I want to get the top three question. This is the question the customer, right? Or client or end user. When he type the question, that question will come from here, and right, and we are passing this to our API right here. So how we can pass the question should be the here question parameter and include unstructured source true, confidential score 0.95. You can say, based on your confidence you can pass into it, maximum one, right? And majorly we pass 90, 95, 94, right? Answer span question request enable true, right? Top answer with span 1. Now we have more properties also, so we will pass. This is enough for us. We will discuss later on for more properties. Request body, so we are passing this request body, right? This one, this is the request where we are passing everything, right? What we need, this is the question. So we are just deserialize this one and convert to the serialize this one as a JSON, right? This should be a JSON format because it won't take the this API will take the JSON input, right? So this will convert into JSON format as a string, and then we will pass request value to the HTTP request message. The method is the post method, right? And request URI. Request URI is this one, the URL. So this post method, this is the URL, right? And then request dot content. We are creating a request, right? When we are creating a request, what request? HTTP request message. So where we are passing method, what method? Get post, right? So we want post method and the URL. Then this request dot content, what content we are passing is string content is request body. So this is the request body, right? This one as a JSON encoding UTF-8 and application JSON, right? Content type is application JSON. So we are passing this content body as a JSON. Now we are also passing a header OCP admins key, right? This is the key important. If the key is not passed, this is the just a key, right? To authenticate our request. So I'll show you how we can get this key and pass over here, right? So once they pass, then we can request like HTTP client send async a request. This is the request we are sending to, right, to get the response, and this will have our response back from the uh, service, right? Then we can read the string from this response here, and console to write line response from model. In this we are just passing, it is not required, right? For testing purpose I just use this one where response JSON. uh, Now we are just converting our string to the some, maybe some array, right? Or some class object, so that we can get the answer. So how we can do that? We are creating some class, the answer response class. Let's move down. This is the answer class. This in this format will get the answer from the Azure Cognitive Search, right? So the answer class has the list of questions and the answer. This is the answer we get from the um, cognitive search, right? This is the main thing we would need it, and the confidential score and ID and mirror data. This should be always blank sometime, right? And this answer will be created another list of answer, right? The answer response, where we are creating a list of this class, right? And then we will pass this answer response to this one, right? We are converting this, deserializing our response from string to our object. So this will give an object response.json dot answer 0 answers 0 dot answer. So this will get our answer to us, right? And then this answer will pass to the UI, right? This answer. So this way we'll get our this is the server side code, the controller. If you want to understand more, you can go and see my previous video, the chatbot, right? Using ChatGPT. I'll mention in the description, right? So this will return um, the response from the cognitive search to the UI, right? The React.js. So now let's move to the client one, right? This one. This is understood. The server. Now the client one. Inside the source, we have chatbot JSX file, right? Here you can see now we are calling the chatbot CSS. So in this section, I have created the UI looks like a chatbot, right? So how the chatbot reacts. So we have designed this application. In my previous video, it was very simple chatbot UI, but here I have made some changes and give a good look and feel. So let's see. We created chatbot. This is the function. This is the class, right? Chatbot, and this chatbot is calling our in our app.js, right? It will display all my UI from into this one. This is the entry point, right? So let's understand chatbot.jx. Creating two variable input, user input, and we are just setting up. If we have the data, we will save our data into using set user input, right? So this is the user input, and the user will type the questions that will store into set user input. We will use that question using user input and set input. I'll show you how we can do that. There is just a string. Again, we create another session variable like chat response, set chat response, and this is an array, right? So this will store our response um, from the API, .NET Core API, right? Handle user input. So when user input, then we'll save all my text into set user input, this one. So in my input box, whenever I'm typing anything, that will be stored in my user input, right? So we can use it, the user input. So we'll show you how this function is called into my input box. Another function is handle key press. So this is implemented because when I am typing, if I enter, the send button should click and respond, right? If I'm not implementing this, then you have to go and click the button. So why I'm creating this? Just whenever I'm typing, I just enter, then it will work. So how it will work? Handle key press. So whenever event dot key equals to enter, then handles and this function will call. This function will call from the button also. When we press the button, this function will call, or when you are push the enter button, when you are in the input box, right? You are typing something, and you are entering. Then it will check if the key is pressed enter. Then this function should call, right? This async method is just getting our we are putting our question to the we are calling the method, right? The method in .NET Core, this one localhost chatbot, right? So response await fetch, we are calling http localhost 5000 chatbot. Chatbot is the this one controller, right? This one chatbot function call. So this will call that function, right? And method is post, header is application JSON, and body equal to JSON dot stringify user input. User input, whatever user input, it will put into the this one, you body as an input means this input will go, and I can collect my input from this one user input, right? Now this will call this one, and once it is success, right, I will get my response from here, right? Like data await response, this response, and this is the just log, it is not required, we log in. Once I have the data, this data value, right, inside the data I have the response from UI. Now we are set chat response. We are setting this response. How we are setting the chat? We are creating an array in chat response where first value is sender, user, text, user input. Means uh, sender is user. So sender is means I am just typing. I am the user, and my text is user input. Means whenever I am typing, I am the user, and I am putting the user input. And if sender is bot, right? Sender will be bot, then text will be data dot answer. Means bot will answer this one, right? And I or end user will type the user input from the input box, right? So this will create an array, and then set user input will be blank. So once it is done, then the user input means the input button will be blank now, because we have already get the data from the API. And if there is an error, then set chat response, this error will be shown into the message box, right? Okay, so this way we can finish our code. Now the UI part. So we have created a container like chat container inside one box, the top box, right? Inside the box, I have the header chatbot with custom QnA data. Means we have a header where I mentioned this line, right? This is the header of that container, right? I'll show you chatbot with custom QA data. This will be the header, will always be the fix, right? Another div, this div will show you the message, right? So how this show you the custom response dot map message and index, right? The chat response is the session value. You can see this chat response will come from the handles and summary, right? And here if chat room, it will message dot index. So how do you div key index class name message dot sender. So message and index, right? Two thing I am passing. So inside the div, what will we display? The key index, class name equal to message dot sender. So here inside the div, right? The inside the div, if class name message and message dot sender means if the message is from sender, right? The message is sender, right, and this class name will be accessed from there. So I'll show you this message, that messages that sender class name will be accessed, and we are passing msg.text means whatever chat response we are coming, this will be print into this message box, correct. Now let's understand this class input container. This is the third one where we are specifying our input box and the button. So two things I am creating: input type text and value equal to user input. So the value will be of this input is user input, right? Whatever I'm typing in the input box, that will be stored into the user input. On change. So whenever we are typing, it should call the on change function where set all the data will be put into the set user input, and this set user input will get the data from the user input, right. Class name is this on key press, right. Handle key press means whenever we are pressing any key, this handle key press will be called this function, right. And we have mentioned in this function that only when the enter is pressed, then it will call the function, right, main function. Now button on click handle send message. So this function will call here if enter is pressed, right. On click it will directly call this handles send message means whenever I'm typing something and click on the button, this method will be called where I'm just getting the question from the user and then passing it to the API to get the answer from the Azure Cognitive Service, right, and then this will do that, correct. So this way we have finished the code, right. So now um, nothing else like index.cs is nothing but chatbot.cs, right. Here I have made some chatbot container where the home main container will be 500 px bits, right. It is margin auto padding 20 px means left and right up and down will be 20 px padding. Nothing else. This is the main container. Chat message I said. In the chat message display will be this, and message will be this one. A user, when the user is coming, then this background color will be this. Means the message, then background color. Right, this user, this bot, sorry. So means when I'm typing something, the color will be this. When bot is responding, then color background color will be this, and forecolor will be white, the text forecolor. Input container, the input box container, input field, send button, this is the button, right. Back color is this, color is this, button css, and this is the main header. What is this header? So I have the fixed header top of the chatbot where background color is this, main color is this, right, padding, font size mentioned, right, where I have mentioned something. I'll show you. Apart from this, app.cs index.cx is done. App, right, here chat box we are calling into the main entry point app.1. And one more thing, index custom here I just the title is custom chatbot, right? Nothing else. Now it is done. Let's move to the Azure service, create an Azure service, then we'll execute this code, right, and see how it works. Before that, I'll show you the Excel sheet. Maybe when I upload, then we'll see. So let's move to the Azure now. So we have already logged into Azure portal. Now we have to create a cognitive service. So how we can create a cognitive service? Let's search Azure AI services, right? Azure AI services. This one. So once you are Azure AI services, you have to create language service. Click on this language service and then create. You can create from here or create language anywhere, right? Click on create. Here you can find two options: custom feature like custom question answering and custom text classification and others. So my requirement is this one, so I will select the first one and continue to create the resource. Now here we need to provide some details. Azure subscription, this is my subscription. If you have different subscription, you can change over here. I don't have resource group, so I will create a new resource group, RG QnA service. Okay, it's okay. Let's create uh, East Asia name LANG QnA service. Okay. It says call per minute, so it will charge. Can you change different reason? Central India. Okay, so I am using Central US. Okay, fine. Central US I am using. This is the pricing tier for the instance. So I'm using the free 5K transaction, right? And for search reason, again same Central US, and it will have free 3 indexes. Let's create this one. So review again your subscription, resource group, instance region name and pricing tier, right? And for the search service, the region, it selects the same region and the search pricing tier. Click on this one and next. Next. Don't want to change anything. Next. Don't want to add any tag. Now you can create your own tag based on your requirement. Okay, it is review good. Now let's create. Now see the deployment is completed, means my language service is created. Go to the resource group. So in my resource group, I will see all my resources available. So there will be two resources created. One is language, another one is search service. See, language search service, right? So my requirement is language. So open this in new tab. You can see this one also. we have to work on the language service. So now you can see the self service is created. This is the endpoint HTTP, this Azure, and location is Central US. It's free tier. Now go down and we need to create uh, configure into language studio. So click on this and close this one, is not required. It is not logged in. Okay, now sign in, click on sign in. So when you sign in using the same user ID password, it will be single sign on, right? So default directory, I don't have only one default directory. Use this one. Azure subscription, I am this. If you have multiple subscription, you can select over from here. Resource type language, I don't want to change anything, and you want to select here. So we have created language QnA service, right? So we need to select this one. Price and tier free, manage identity enable. So again, when you click into language studio, it will ask you to log in, or when you log in, it will give you this pop-up where you have to select the Azure directory by default subscription, whatever subscription you have. You can select, right? If you have one subscription, it will automatically come here. If you have multiple directory or one directory, it will be select here, right? Resource group language, I don't want anything, so you can select language here, and select your service. I have created whatever you will create, it will listed here only, right? And then click on done. Once it is done, then you have to there is a welcome to language studio. Now you can see there are multiple things, right? Like extend question, understand question, and this one, right? So what I want to click this one, understand a question and answer conversation language. Here you can see multiple option, answer question, question and answering, conversation. So my requirement is to use this one, custom question, question answering, right? Click on this one. Now you have to create one project. Create project. Two option available. I want to select a language when I create project in this resource. I want to set a language for all project created. So I want this second option. Select the language for all project, right? And you can select, click here and choose English, right? And click on next. Here you can create your project name. Say QnA project. Description, you can say this project will be used for a custom chat bot, right? And now default answer, when no answer is written, means if there is no answer, then what should be written, right? So let's say I have typed something that is not found in your file, so it should be written some custom message. So you can be here, you say no answer found, please ask again. Okay, so this message will come. You can customize this message, and you can say next. You can review and create project. Add source. So now the project is created, saying QnA project, right? Now here you can see multiple options are there. So what you need to do, you need to create a manage resource, right? Manage resource. In the manage resource, you can click add source. Here you can have multiple options like URL, files and all. So in URL, if you have any website and in the website you have the content and you want to use the have question and answer, using the browser you can put the URL. It will create the question answer for you. Files, so here I want my own file, right? So I have the Excel file. I mentioned the question and answer, two column. In first column question, second column answer. So what I will do is I'll select the add file and then click on add file. Source name, let's say, click here. Now I have put the file. I have the file, the question QE.xls. Select this one, right? Give some name like QnA file, Q QnA file, right? QnA file. Select this one and then add all. Once you add, I will show you. It is still adding. Now click on Edit Knowledge Base. Manage resource. You have already created, right? Added source, right? So this Excel file is created. Now you can click and if you can click, it will move to your this one, right? Edit knowledge base. Now in the edit knowledge base, you can see in the Excel file, the first column was the question, what is AWS? This is the answer. This is the question. This is the answer. This is all file. You can see the file details over here, right? So this way you can see your file is, you can give Excel file some other file also, Word. So a lot of file extension are there. You can give. I have the Excel file. I give question and answer, right? So this is done. Now let's test this how it will work, right? Here, if you can see plus and this one, you can add more files over here. If you have already done, if you want to create more files, you can just click. I'll show you how we can do that. Let's test this one. It is work or not. Click on this test one. It will show you some chatbot kind of things. So let's say I want to search this one, benefit of using AWS, right? Or say benefit of use benefit uh, benefits of using AWS. Okay, and see benefit of using. I'm just typing the benefit. I'm not typing whole sentence. What are the benefits, right? I'm just typing benefit of using AWS or type of EC2 instance, like type of EC2 instance, right? Let's see. Answer is the EC2 instance comes in various, right? This answer is coming from my sheet, correct? This way you can have multiple. You can search anything over here. uh, One more test. IAM role. IAM role. See, IAM role. and I am only similar to this and that, right? So it will come. Now you can see the Excel file. You can see the what is AWS. This is the question. This is the answer. This way I put all these things, right? And then you can create your own Excel file, Word file, text file, whatever, right? So now this is done. So it means we have already created the service. Now it will not still used. So what we need to do is we need to click on deploy knowledge base, and then we have to deploy. We have tested all working fine. Now deploy. So once it is deployed, right, then in that case we need to access it. Now it is deployed, right? Now you can directly go click on create chatbot. So what it will do is it will deploy this whole code into one of the app service in Azure, and then you can directly access it, right? But for UI and all, I have already created my own application using React and .NET Core. So I want to just get the API. So I will click on get protection. So what I need to do is uh, my let's copy and paste. Copy this one, right? This is what I need. Go to my file and control notepad. I just putting everything here. Let's go to it. Okay. Now this is the one. Let's go to the server controller chatbot. Right. So here something we need to change is the API endpoint. Right. In the API endpoint, we need to copy this one. HTTP this one, right? Language service cognitive API. I'm just putting over here, and query parameter should be from language to production till here, right? Copy this one, and you can directly use one main this one also. That is also fine. Okay, this is done. What else changes required is user input, API URL we need to change. Uh, this is not required to be changed. Uh, Key is required, right? So anything else? Nothing else, right? Everything is posted. Let's copy the key from there. OCP admin key, right? So copy this one and put into your this one, right? It is changed one now. Change Control S. Now run it. Let's run this one. See the this is the title chatbot with custom QnA data, and we need to chat, right? How we will chat? What is AWS? Right? What is AWS? And send it. Okay. Okay. See, the AWS stand for Amazon Web Service. It is a comprehensive evolving cloud. Let's disable this one, right? Uh, Debug. Uh, disable all breakpoints. Right now, AWS standpoint. If you go to your sheet, what is AWS stand? This one, right? Now let's search something else. Let's search this one. Difference between scaling and this one. Okay, and go to this one. Difference between horizontal and vertical scaling. And horizontal scaling involve adding more instances to distribute the load, while vertical, right? It is coming the correct answer. Now let's do something else. What is DevOps? No answer found. Please ask again. Means this question is not there. Question answer is not there. So we have changed, right? So if something is not found, the custom message, no answer found. Please ask again, right? So okay, we have given our file, right? Now go to the UI again here. Added knowledge base. So we have created one file, right? This one file. Now click on plus. This here editorial you can give any other thing as also source and all. So what I'm just giving question over here only. Let's say what is DevOps? Say DevOps is is a process of automating application lifecycle. Let's say nothing, you can give anything else, right? Done. Correct. What is DevOps is here. Now test it. Let's say DevOps. What is DevOps? Is DevOps. Yes. Just giving some error. Unsaved. Okay, we need to save first, right? Let's save it. Now DevOps. Now you can see DevOps is a process of automating this one, right? Now if I search from my code DevOps, it won't come, right? Again it will say no answer found. Why no answer found? Because we have to deploy it again. Then it will come, right? Deploy. Let's click on deploy. Deploy. Once it is redeployed, then we'll search it again. See, project deployed successfully. Now go and say DevOps. See, DevOps is a process of automating application development lifecycle. So your chatbot is ready with your own data, right? So let's move to the slide. We have done with the demo. We have shown you how to create a custom chatbot with your own data, right? So I will put my code into GitHub. This is the GitHub URL, https github.com/takniki so you can directly go and download this application, as well as I have already uploaded a lot of application. In my previous video, if you miss some code from in the GitHub, you can just comment me. I will definitely upload the other application as well. So this will end to our video. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe and comment. If you have any question and query, thank you and bye.